Welcome to Pouches and More. Today let's prepare this simple handbag. This is how it looks. Inside we have completely lined it. We have not made any pockets inside. It's simple to make. So let's check out the materials required and then let's get started with the making. We require main fabric 16 inches by 21 inches. Lining 15 inches by 20 inches, and here we have taken the rubber sheet for quilting, and this measures 16.5 inches by 20.5 inches. A 17-inch long zip, 2 straps measuring 21.5 inches long, and 2 strips of the same material 15.5 inches long. Binding strip 1.5 inches by 13 inches. We are using 2 of this. This is the straight binding, not the bias binding. So first let's start by quilting the main fabric. We have placed the quilting sheet. This is the rubber quilting sheet. On top of this we will be placing our main fabric. Wrong side will be on the quilting sheet. Now how you want to make stitches, it is completely optional. After quilting we are going to cut this to 15 by 20 inches. We have quilted and cut it to 15 inches by 20 inches. Now on both these sides we are going to make a marking of 3.25 inches, that is 3.25 inches. So we are just going to make a marking over here, that is on the 20-inch side. We will be making on both sides, and we are going to join this by a line. This is where we will be attaching the strip, and also the raw ends of the strap we will be pushing it under this strip. So now we are just going to attach the 3.25 inches like this. Once this is done, we need a center marking. So just going to fold the fabric like this in half to get the center. Now this is for attaching the strap. First we take the center, and from the center mark on either side we will again make a mark of 3 inches. So this is our center mark. Now on both sides of this center mark we will be making another mark of 3 inches. This is where we will be attaching our strap. Now the same mark we will also do on the 3.25 inch line that we just did. So for that we will do the same thing, just fold it, make a mark over here, and both sides will be making the 3-inch mark. Once this is done, we are going to join these 3-inch marks also. So here we are going to get a straight line. Now we will place our strap on this straight line. So both sides we have finished drawing the straight line. Now on the straps, on the raw end we are going to make a mark of 3/4 inch, that is 0.75 inches. Now this 3/4 inches will be aligning with our 3.25 inch line that we just did. So this is on the raw end of the strap we have made the marking. Now we are going to place the 3/4 inch like this, and this will be close to the center, that is towards the center on the 3-inch line that we did. So this is how it is. On the 3-inch line it will be more towards the center, and we will align the 3/4 inch with the 3.25 inch line. Now on this line we will have to place our strap or the strip. So we are going to place it exactly, aligning it with the line, and we will be making a stitch on both sides on this also. Same thing we will do on the other side also. We are going to attach the strap and the strip. Now first we are just going to stitch the strap. So this 3/4 inch line we are going to first stitch. After that we will place the strip. So our strap is done on both sides. This is how it will be looking. I will just cut off this extra. Once that is done, we are going to attach the zip. So before that we are just going to put the straps together and pin them over here so that they don't come in between while we are attaching the zip and the lining fabric. Now we will take main fabric right side facing up. We will take our zip slider side will be facing down, and align it on the raw edge and clip them. Once this is done on one side, we'll take the lining fabric. We need to make a stitch on this. So we'll take a lining fabric right side facing down, align it from the side as well as on the top and clip them together again. So here we're going to make a stitch. Here we change the foot to a zipper foot to stitch the zip. Once the stitch is done, we are going to put the lining fabric onto the main fabric side itself. That is, both fabrics will be on one side. We need to make a top stitch. So both sides, or both fabrics will be putting it on one side. Press the stitch seam, that is the seam that we just stitched. We're just going to hand press it like this. And now here on the seam, see that the lining fabric is neatly down. And on this seam, we are going to make a top stitch, that is to hold it flat. Our top stitch is done. Now for the other side, we are just going to fold the main fabric like this, right side on the right side. And this will be on the other side of the zipper tape, aligned from the side and the top. And again we need to clip them together, see that it's aligned neatly. Now flip it over, this is for the lining fabric. Lining fabric, same thing, right side on right side. Again align it from the side and the top and clip them together. So finish doing that. From the side will be looking like this. Main fabrics will be together and the lining fabrics will be together over here. Now we need to make a stitch. It's a simple straight stitch that we will be doing. Our stitch is done. Now for making the top stitch, we will turn it over to the lining fabric side. So for that, first we're just going to open the zip completely and we will be turning over the fabric. We'll put both the fabrics together and turn it over to the lining fabric side. So now we've turned the entire bag to the lining fabric side. See that there are no folds on the fabrics and it is flat, completely flat. Now we'll have to do the same thing, just flatten the seams and make a top stitch over here. So for this side, again we are just going to flatten the seam and make a top stitch over here. Again, it's a simple straight stitch that we will be doing. Our top stitch is done on both the sides. This is how it will be. Now we're just going to close the zip. We need a center mark on the base. So we're just going to flatten it completely like this. Now one side we will be holding the zipper teeth and we are going to flatten both the fabrics together so we get a center mark on the base. Same thing we'll do on both the sides. Now remember, both the sliders have to be inside, since now we'll be stitching the sides. So once we have done this, on both sides we'll be making a straight stitch. It's a simple straight stitch. So both sides we have finished stitching. We'll cut up the extra zip over here. Once that is done, we need to make a box. So on the base we'll be making a box of 1.5 inch. Now here 1.5 inch will be from the stitch mark. So this is a 1.5 inch box that we'll be doing on the base. Make a 1.5 inch. Remember, on the side this will be from the stitch mark. So our base box is done. The same thing we'll do on the other side also. Now on the top we'll be making a box of 1.25 inch. So from the side, again from the stitch mark, stitch line will be making 1.25 inch, and here on top part from the zip we'll be taking 1.25 inch. So from the side, it's from the stitch line that we just did, we'll be taking 1.25 inch. So base we have got 1.5 inch, top we have got 1.25 inch. Same thing we'll do on both the sides. And once both the box is done, we need to cut this. So here we have done the box on all 4 corners. Now we are going to cut this. After cutting, we will bind the sides. So for that we'll take our binding fabric. Now here, since the binding is on a straight fabric, we have taken straight binding, not the bias binding. So just align the raw edges and clip them together. One side is done. Now we're going to cut the extra fabric and take it over to the other side and do the same thing. So both sides we have clipped, we are going to make a stitch. Now to complete this boxing, we have turned it over, fabric we have turned it over to the other side, and we are just going to double fold it like this. So here again make a straight stitch. Side binding is done. Now we are going to complete the box. So for that we are just going to flatten the box like this, both sides. The zipper teeth will be aligned with the binding that we just did, and see that the binding is pressed on one side or flat on one side, and on the same side, even in the base, we will be making the binding flat. So I'll just show you how it is done. Here we have clipped it. Now the same binding we are going to flatten it on the same side that we did the top part. Now here again the base center and the binding we are going to align like this. Clip it all together. And the same thing we'll do on the other side also. Now the same thing we'll be doing on the other side also. So 4 sides we have finished. We are going to make a straight stitch over here. Both sides straight stitch. Straight stitch is done. Now same way to complete the binding, we are going to stitch the binding strip like this, aligning the raw edge. Clip them together, cut the extra fabric and put it on the other side. So one side is done, we are going to cut this extra fabric and put it on the other side and do it the same way, that is align it along with the raw edge of the box and clip them together and again cut off the extra. Now the same thing we'll do on the base also and stitch it. Binding, one stitch is done. Now to complete it, flip it over to the other side. Fold the sides first like this. Both sides first we will be folding it inside and then we will be double folding it, that is one fold and two fold, and we are going to clip this. Now the same thing we'll do on all 4 corners. We need to make a stitch on this. Same thing we'll do on all 4 corners. So what we have done is we have flipped it over to this binding strip, we have flipped it over to the other side, finger press the stitch line. First we are going to fold from the sides. After that we'll make the double fold. So that is one fold and two fold. Now we're going to pin this and we're going to do the same thing for the remaining 2 sides and make a straight stitch on this. So all 4 corners we have binded, we're going to make a straight stitch. Our straight stitch is done. Now we're just going to turn it over to the right side. So our bag is nearly complete. We're just going to turn it over to the right side and remember to push out all the boxed corners neatly. So here we're just going to push out all the boxed corners neatly. So our handbag is completely ready and this is how it looks. You can also increase the size and make a proper travel bag from this with the same technique. So if you like this video and found it helpful, please do not forget to like, share and subscribe. Thanks for watching. Bye.